Everybody wants me to do the 50 Cent and Game situation and Lloyd Banks and what happened. And that's why I told you, I let the thing play out. I mean, it just happened, so I let it play out. But from what happened in like 10 years ago, around that time, from the back, Game was jealous of Lloyd Banks because Banks is a better rapper than him, than Game. He always wanted to compete against Lloyd Banks, and try to put his verses last to try to hear what Banks said and kind of come with something better. Which is fine, it's competitiveness, but he didn't mention Lloyd Banks' name in the credits on purpose. They say, oh no, that was an accident. It wasn't an accident. He was already putting himself in a position to try to battle Lloyd Banks, even when he was on G Unit. And he didn't feel himself comfortable around Banks that much. He wanted to be known as the guy in G Unit. So when he sold all those records, it went to his head. He thought, man, I sold 5 million records. I sold more than Banks. And I done sold more than 50. I'm 50. He started thinking he was G Unit and he's up there with 50. Like, yeah, I'm up there now. So when 50's like, yeah, this guy here is beside himself. He was drunk off that juice called fame, and everybody screaming his name, and he just flipped out. So when 50 was like, he's just out the group, because this wasn't the first incident they had. Game had just got back from overseas, and here he come to the studios, and then there was the shootout or whatever, and you remember that. Now, since then, he been dissing Lloyd Banks and all of this stuff, and Banks mentioned him very, very lightly, like very small on a couple of songs. He don't really spend no time on it. So he didn't really have a beef with Lloyd Banks, really. It was more in his own mind a competition. But he had a bigger battery put in his back because of who was backing him with Jimmy Henchman, his management team. So when Jimmy them pushing him to the GU9 and everything else, and it became a situation where there was problems, within both sides, and Yale man got, he got hit. They had shot at him first. And they were upset that they got shot at, and they saw Jimmy, they didn't know it was his son at the time, and somebody roughed up Jimmy Henchman's son, which they didn't know it was a mistake at the time. And because of that mistake, developments happened. Yale's house got shot up. Mac went to jail behind the situation. Then when he got out of jail, he got murdered a couple weeks later. So Jimmy Henchman got locked up for that murder. He was on the run for that one particular murder. They saying he ordered the hit. The government came and got him, took him down, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff connected to it. But he got arrested for that case. Whether he did it or not, I don't get involved in that. But that's what's public record right now. It's public knowledge for that. So Game is a victim of circumstance because he was the artist. He was the mouthpiece out there going against 50 for Jimmy. So now that Jimmy's gone, everything's done. Game do things for opportunity reasons right now. So when he sees Lloyd Banks over there, he's, oh man, let's show some love to Banks show and go over there. And it wasn't about let's jump on Lloyd Banks, because that's gonna be bad for Game, because you're in another country, you're gonna have to abide by their laws. So of course he wants to go over there and make sure they invite him back and say what's up to him and all this and take the picture and this and that, and like it's all love. But he knew what he was doing when he was doing the picture, because he knew it was going to get back to 50, and then 50's talking about Game. So it's just another form of promotion used by, Game. So 50 and Lloyd Banks, they got on the phone, they talked it out, and he explained his position about what happened. And 50 only thing was just like, dude, like, you should know better. Like, 50 should have got a call immediately. 50 got a call, but it was like after the fact. Because this gonna come back to 50. Like, oh, 50 ain't gonna like this. 50 finna be upset. And better yet, I'll just let 50 tell you in his own words.
I felt, I go, because he called me. I had the photograph.
Yeah.
Right, and I listened to him, I heard everything he said. I was like, oh, yeah, cool. Okay, I don't have passion for the situation. I don't wake up, with those intentions. I'm doing other shit, you know what I mean? So, when you look at it, you go, when you see people say, I wonder how 50 feels about this, right? And I go, well, I don't think it matters as much how I feel about it. Like, well, Mac is dead. How does Mac feel about it? You understand? And process, it's not Game's doing. He's not that. Far from that. But in association, it turns into someone moving this been on the other side with Jimmy Henchman. You see what I'm saying? It's not East Coast, West Coast. It's East Coast, East Coast. East Coast. You know what I mean? And it turns into something else. And then in those situations, you look and you go, I'm not all right with someone playing with someone's kid. To be honest with you, I just spanked, what's the name for that? Playing around with my little boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think but if I go somewhere with you and we together, I don't care if you're wrong. I'm still with you.
That's real.
I tell you you're wrong when we get to the house. After this shit is over.
Later on, I'm going to tell you.
Man, what the fuck? But right now, while we here, I dare you, nigga. Go ahead. Go ahead, nigga. You think you ready? Go ahead. And then be like, well, you must have had too much to drink, eh? What you doing? You see what you doing?
Ace.
But that's that whole piece. That piece while we out, it's cool. So yeah, with that situation, it was like, it was real interesting because the car got hit. This is what people don't know. The Bentley got shot up, right? So this is for the mixtape award. They don't know because I told them park the car. Don't take the car nowhere where they see the car or know what's going on. I come back, I look at the car, I go, nigga was trying to make a movie. He just missed because it was at your head level, but it was overhead. It just went to the middle of the car instead of going through the window and shit. And he had the seat laid back and everything. So Matt was passionate about it. Then, they doing the regular when I see them. Wait till what happened. And the first thing they ran into, they didn't look like a kid. They just looked like somebody to address. You know what I'm saying? And then it turns into something else. And then Jimmy's a rat, so he did all kind of shit. Like, don't take my word for it. Check it. They tell you it's all over the place, man. You got them all sitting up there like
50 Cent in the building. Recently, who kid posted the what was that? The WWF with the Drake and the
Yeah, that was funny.
And
Meek taking the L.
I know you saw Meek's response.
Yeah, he's really not that bright. That kid is not that bright. Look, if you say like the easiest thing you can do is bring other people into the statements that you're saying, right? While you write music. Not for them to be involved, but just to mention in it. And like when he mentioned AR from Drake's perspective, it turned into the kid being on stage saying fuck AR. And I didn't understand it when he did that. I was like, it's a special kind of stupid going on over there. Because you didn't, now you just took something that completely was non-threatening with Drake and this one and turned it into something that could potentially turn into you bumping in Philly.
It's true.
You see what I'm saying? And then I was like, well, maybe you know something I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and from there, but he does that instinctively. He watches anyone that goes next to the person that he has that passion for, and he attacks that person. And you see him say some shit about Future. It's because they collaborated on the album together. So if you with him, then you against me. He say something. These are the least. You have the least opportunity to beat these guys with the momentum they have at this point.